Well, hello. Thank you guys. Early birds showing up. You might be muted and can't hear us. So if you see us, wave. Make sure you guys unmute. And if you could, I'm going to start this now. I'm going to repeat it a lot of times though. But if you could type in the chat your name and where you're from, we would love that.
I love this. You guys are all my people, 15 minutes early to everything. That's so me. So incredible. So we are going to be repeating a couple things in these next 14 minutes. We will be starting right on time at 6 o'clock. But just make sure, if you guys haven't already, you do not have to print this. It is interactive. However, make sure you've got your goal planning. Should have come in your second email and your third email. I personally think goals stick better when you write them down. That is my philosophy, but it is interactive and you can type it into your comment. You can type it in if you want to. So welcome, welcome.
Kelly, how do I get
I hear you, but I don't know your question.
Okay, I don't know. There you go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi, Francis.
Hi, Francis.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening. What was your question?
No, I was having a hard time getting back on the video as I dialed in.
Oh,
so
okay. Great. Glad you got it. Welcome, everybody. If you're hopping on, please feel free to type in your name and where you are from. We chose Zoom, so this is very interactive. I love that your cameras are on.
Would it be I'm having problems with my laptop. Is that going to be an issue?
It shouldn't be an issue. Did you print out your planner?
I did. I have that, but I'm having problem connecting with my laptop, and so I'm using my cell phone.
Perfect. As long as you can hear us, you are fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. As you're hopping on, we're excited to have you. Go ahead and type in your name and where you're from if you want to in the chat. We will be using the chat and keeping the lines muted throughout the call so we don't have a bunch of feedback. So I want you guys to get comfortable and used to that. If you have not already printed out your goal planner, I highly suggest it. I know it's a little bright with the lights. I personally think when you write down a goal, you have a better tendency to hit it and remember it and align with it. So my suggestion is to print it out, although it is interactive. If for those of you that are like Tyler, my husband, who does everything virtually or, on a computer.
I like to save paper, and I always have it. That way it's not lost. Put that in the cloud and go. Just hope it doesn't rain on you.
All right, so we have all East Coasters so far. California and Oregon.
We have what coasters?
West Coasters, wow.
Wow. Yes.
10 minutes to go, and we are starting on time today, you guys. So thanks for being on early.
Yes. We can pause the recording. Want to? Guys, we thank you so much for joining us. We thank you guys for taking part in this. And our goal tonight is to bring you guys some value. And our goal with that is hopefully that you guys can reflect. We can take time to share our story and how important we believe goals are. But we want to leave you guys with some amazing tangible steps, action steps, and more importantly, we're going to condense things down. And that probably isn't what you hear a lot of times when making vision boards. That isn't what you usually hear when making lists. That isn't usually what you hear when you're writing down goals. We're going to help you guys whittle those down to the most important, actionable, but we're also going to give you guys some tools to utilize to make sure you hit them.
Yeah, so thanks you guys all for getting on. We have 1 hour with you, so we are going to really just dive into this. I hope you guys have your goal planners that you received in your emails either printed out or you're using it on your computer. It is an active worksheet that you can work your way through. Goals, you guys, just so you know me, I am a huge goal setter. It's something I love to do. I mean, like the first of every month throughout the year. I'm always writing down my thoughts and goals, but really, really, really getting dialed on focus goals. And there's different philosophies out there about goals. We hear the word thrown around, balance, all the time. And you know what? Tyler and I just really don't believe there is balance. We believe if there's a goal you really want to go for, it's really just going to be one intentional goal. So we are going to break down your non-negotiables, your negotiables, and the things to really help you master that one goal that you really want to focus on for the next 6 to 12 weeks. So while you have a ton of goals in all different areas in the back of your mind that you're still leaning towards and working towards, we're really going to break down that one focus goal that's going to change your 2018. And that's what we are so excited for. For those of you guys that didn't get on the line earlier, I was talking about one time I was so passionate about a goal. I came home and I Sharpied my office with it. And my kids were, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, and 7 at the time, and they're looking at me like, Mommy, what are you doing? But I'll tell you what, you guys, that Sharpie goal was in front of me for a long time, and I actually hit that mega giant goal. And I do believe it was because it was in front of our face every single day.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to miss.
Yeah, so lesson learned.
And when it was written, it wasn't written small.
Use crayon.
Just,
oh, no.
It was written, you know, like 3 feet letters.
Yeah, it was
so
cute.
3 feet numbers. It was something you couldn't walk into our office without seeing. And we believe that is so important to have focus, to have something dialed in what you want to accomplish. So as we get started, you guys have your planners. Let's go ahead and make sure you're familiar with those. So we see the first page has a little bit of what we're going to do tonight. Then we go into kind of some descriptions. And hopefully you guys pre-read that. We're not going to spend a lot of time looking through that, but we're going to highlight a lot of that during the day. So there's a couple pages there. And then we're going to get into the meat. So on page 4, we have a lot of meat. Before we get there, though, we're going to kind of go back through and tell you a little bit about us. There may be some people on here that aren't familiar with who Tyler and Kelly are. You may not be familiar on kind of what's so important to us and why we wanted to have this workshop. So we're going to share that real quick and hopefully, guys, bring you all into, I guess, our office. The office that Kelly and I share, where we're shooting from right now. And so you guys understand how we go about each day. Go ahead, Kelly.
Well, where do you want me to start? My name is Kelly. I am an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since a very young age, since selling lemonade at lemonade stands or making cards with my sister and selling those outside of our house. It's always been a passion of mine. I was raised by 2 very entrepreneurial parents, and they taught us at a very young age to just work hard and go for it. And so that's something I've always done. At the age of 17, I graduated from high school. I moved out of my house and I became a hairdresser. Was busting my booty, serving tables, and doing hair all up until I actually gave birth to our second child. Well, I wasn't serving tables, but you know, then I met this guy. Yeah. So working hard and entrepreneurship's always something that's been in my blood. About 6 years ago, Tyler and I came into an opportunity with a network marketing company, and it's something we are absolutely passionate about and something that we do. And in that, it is provided us opportunity to open up more businesses. We own a training facility. We own, commercial real estate, et cetera, et cetera. So really our passion is we love our network marketing company and love that, but we also love to help entrepreneurs really grow in their own personal businesses, whether that's teaching a massage therapist how to up her Instagram and her social media, or just mentor somebody in how a husband and wife might work together. One of the things that we know that God has truly placed us on this earth for is to just share through the hard times, share through our trials and tribulations and things we have gone through, because it's not all cookie cutters, right?
No, for sure.
So that's a little bit about me. We have 3 awesome kids. They're 8, 9, and 11. We do this as a family. 2 of our boys are sitting there right now watching us do this and hanging out. And so hopefully they don't interrupt us too much, but it's a family affair.
Yeah. So myself, I grew up on a dairy farm in Ohio. Kind of my entrepreneurial career started when I think I was 8 or 9 years old and I bought my first cow. I can remember I paid $1,000 for it. And that was out of my checking account. I got a checking account when I was 8 years old. I can remember writing that check. Throughout high school, I probably spent $30,000, $40,000 buying cows, selling cows, doing those things. It was just normal to me. That's what I used to pay for college. Then I kind of come into my professional career. And I started with a company doing dairy nutrition, but it never felt right. I wanted to work for myself. So when Kelly was 6 months pregnant, I decided to start my own nutrition business. I walked out.
Scary.
For who?
All of us.
Oh, yeah. So I walked out of a paycheck earning like $70,000, $75,000 a year. To the next day, I had no money coming in. I created that business to be about a $250,000 to $300,000 gross business a year, and operated that business up until 5 years ago, when I shut that down and really focused on more of our network marketing business, our gym business, because I wanted to spend more time with my family and not be on the road so much. So that's kind of my entrepreneurial background, and I love taking on new challenges. I love driving for new things. And one of the things is Kelly and I were setting up this workshop, and let's get into the beat. That's the background. So we have a little bit of, hopefully we know what we're talking about. And when we were talking about, hey, you know what, we'd really love to do this. We'd love to share with people the ability to, use up our success. We found out, and we stopped and thought about, the goals that we hit is when someone's holding us accountable. The goals that we hit was when they were few in number and very focused. And there's a lot of science behind that. We're going to go into it tonight. And so we kind of want to help you guys through that. One of the things that I've found in the past when I go through where I've had the most success is when I write down a few goals and I focus on them. And that may be 3 goals for the entire year. It may have been for in our network marketing business. I wanted to see so much growth over time. In my nutrition business, I wanted to add so many clients over a period of time. I wanted to get to where my income or number of clients I was working with was at a specific number. When I wrote that down and I focused on it and I created a plan, that's when I saw success. So that's what we're going to lead you through. But one of the things that I kind of want to bring in, and we talk about goals and I talk about focusing, there's a lot of different areas in your life that you can focus on. There's a book. It's called The One Thing. If you've read it, great. I'd love if you guys commented, shared that, because that's awesome. And if you haven't, I suggest it. And one of the things that in The One Thing it talks about is having foundation. And having a foundation in areas. Funny enough, if we look at the goal areas that we're going to talk about tonight, faith, family, financial, fun, fitness, and freaky, those are areas
that's not PG rated for those of you who...
Yeah, wild and crazy, but we wanted to stay with the F. And one of the things that Gary Keller talks about in that book, and Gary Keller, Keller Williams Realty, phenomenal business. He goes, you got to have a foundation. You got to have cornerstones. And if you build anything on sand, if you build anything on shaky ground, it's going to fall apart. If you try to build it too fast, too crazy, without a great foundation, it's going to fall apart. So we're going to talk in each one of these areas and really help you guys build a foundation and something that you can work off of. What I see for this group and what I see for all of you guys is if we meet again, when we meet again in a year from now, and you guys are sharing your stories of 2018. And I don't want to hear stories of, oh, I hit this goal and this goal and this goal and this goal. I want to hear the one story of the one goal that you didn't think you could hit, but so dynamically changed you and your family that it's unbelievable. Because that, when I look back on our experiences, those one goals, when our backs were against the wall, we literally didn't know how we were going to, pay all of our bills and do whatever we were going to do. And everything came through. Those are the memories that drive me forward to the next opportunity. So I really want to set that intention with you guys. We're going to walk you through how to get there. But before we do that, we're going to take some time here, the next 10 minutes or so, and I really want to hone in and explain each one of these areas. Because I think it's really important as you guys, and we're going to go through the process of identifying goals in each one of the areas that I just listed. But I want you guys to hear from us where our heart is and where we feel like each one of these areas really, kind of set the stage. So we're going to give examples of each one of these goal areas. And as we're doing that, if it's on your worksheet, if you feel like, hey, I want to jot down maybe something that comes to you, if you want to turn that worksheet over and just kind of brainstorm and jot down, that's great. We'd love you guys to do that as we're kind of chatting.
Yeah, so we're going to just start with faith. We're going to start with our first one. This for us is the most crucial one because as Tyler talks about that foundation, he talks about that rock. For us, that is faith. And I'm not here to preach at you guys tonight. I respect everybody and every walk that you guys come from. For some people's faith, it may be just that they're going to step out in faith in just the unknown. And so whatever that looks like for you, but I can just give you guys some maybe little examples for us that a faith goal might be. And like I said, if you hear something that triggers you, you guys, if you want to write in the comments, please feel free to write your goals. I mean, it's great to have people already holding us accountable. But just as you start thinking about that, you're going to want to come up with 3 really good goals for each of these subjects we're talking about. So this is where we can start getting interactive, start really thinking about what these 3 are. It may be to join a new Bible study. It may be to just start going to church again. It may be to start journaling more, just everyday journaling. It may be reading a book, reading 10 pages in a book. It could be like a personal development book, or it could be a faith-filled book. But think about 3 things that you guys, when it comes to faith and it comes to foundation, that just really speak to you. And we gave some examples, you guys, and I'm not going to go over this on everyone, but I want you to be thinking of these in the back of your mind. We use the SMART acronym, and is your goal specific? So I wouldn't just say, I want to read my Bible every day. It would be like, I'm going to go through Proverbs. I'm going to read 1 proverb a day for 30 days, something like that. Is it measurable? Tyler's so great at explaining a measurable goal.
Yeah, a measurable goal means that you can actually measure it. I mean, it's if you say, I want to meet more people. Okay, that's great. I want to meet 20 more people. Great, that's measurable. You can count off, I met 20 new people. Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense, you guys. Again, if you have any questions, yay, Katrina, thank you for letting us know about your journaling. If you guys have any questions, please post them in the comments. But is your goal attainable? So I'm not going to say that I'm going to read 30 books in 30 days. I tried that once. A good friend of mine did that, and I have so much respect for them because there's absolutely no way I'm going to read. So I'm not going to put that goal down, right? It's just not attainable. Is it relevant? Is it personal to you? Does it make your heart and do you get that little fire in your belly when you think about it? If you don't get a fire in your belly, you guys, it is probably not, you're probably not going to get it. It's probably not, you're not going to hit that goal. It needs to be something that really stirs your spirit and makes you just excited for it. And is it timely? Do you have a time limit?
When are you gonna achieve it? Write down 30 days, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 1 week.
I know an example John Maxwell, who one of our mentors uses. He goes, I'm going to read a proverb a day every day of the month. There's enough that you can do that. And that's one of his goals. That's very measurable, that's very attainable, that's very tangible. It's going to be effective. You're going to get something in there. It could be as small as that. It could be, I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes when I wake up in the morning and, I have my cup of coffee. Instead of pulling out your smartphone and I'm the victim of it, the first thing I do is I hop in there and I start looking at my emails. And don't do that. Take time first thing in the morning to, if that's where you're connecting with something, is that's where you're trying to find that, Jen, you have a weekly family devotional. That's awesome. Great, guys. Those are great words and great examples.
Meditation, yes. I am a high fan of meditation. And sometimes meditating can scare people. You could just say, hey, I want to start meditating for 1 minute a day. It will change your life. Work up to 30 minutes. Naps. No, it's not a nap. It's not a nap.
Not a nap. Meditation.
All right. Okay. So from those 3 that you guys just wrote down, you should have 3 when it comes to the subject of faith. I want you to pick the one. They should all stir your soul, but the one that really, really stirs your soul, the one that you can develop a why behind it. So what will that do? How will that change the course of your family, your life, you personally, which one? And then I want you guys to write that right below. So pick one and then start thinking of the why behind it. And Tyler's going to go into that why.
So I think another way to look at that is that really, as Kelly said, that doesn't resonate.
I'm an emotional girl.
Yeah. If I look at one and I look at that and say, where am I failing the most? Where am I not coming through the most? That's one way to look at it. Which one of those goals can you say, oh, dude, I'm just not bringing it there? Or here's another way. If I were to achieve one of those 3 goals, which one would make the most difference in my life? So think about it in that case. One of the things with goals, and I think too often people, they make goals 2 ways. Either too hard, so you're like, I can't possibly get there, it's just too much to do, or they're meaningless. So they're meaningless because they don't affect your life. So if you look at something, man, if I do this, I know it's going to change my life. It's going to change how I go about life. It's how I'm going to look about life. So use that as an example. So we have, brainstorm. We have 3 slots there for you in faith. Pick the one and only the one. And I mentioned this earlier about Gary Keller. Too often we throw down a slew of goals. If you made New Year's resolutions, you thought about it and you're like, all right, I got 10 New Year's resolutions. Here we go. From experience, if you actually hold on to those, how many people hit all 10? Go ahead, raise your hands if you've ever done it. I don't know if it's the screen or what. It may be broken. Nobody's raising their hand. So that's why I want you to achieve one goal. What's the one goal? And it doesn't have to be the biggest. It's the one that I know is going to make the biggest difference. Okay. Awesome. So go ahead, write that down. Now here's the other step. What's one thing that you can do starting tomorrow? We're not going to wait. You can start tonight. I won't hold that against you, but we're going to start right away. What's the one thing that I can do? I mentioned in this faith concept in regards to looking at it from a point of view of, I'm going to read Proverbs. So I know tomorrow morning, that's when I usually get up and I'm going to read Proverbs number 16. I'm going to read Proverbs 16. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get stuck to it, and I'm going to be accountable. And I know I need to. One of the things, I do that via the YouVersion Bible app, and it has a reminder. So I can get a reminder every morning. It tells me to do it. So that's just an example. I encourage you guys, think about that. Do that same thing.
Okay, so you guys have your one big why. You have that one big focus goal when it comes to the subject of faith, and that one easy step. Like, that's the biggest thing that I want to dial in here, you guys, because if it's a hard first step, it won't get done. So what's that one just simple, easy step that you can take right now, or when we get off of here? It could be like I saw that Kaylee was asking an idea of a meditation. Okay, so one meditation I love to use, it's on the Cody app, and it's Beach Yoga Girl. So what could she do? That would be one easy thing. She could download the Cody app and search Beach Yoga Girl. And so there's just, what is that one easy thing? It could be pushing order on your Amazon Prime in order to get that devotional shipped to you. It could be tonight, just searching your local churches and the times and putting it in a calendar and saying, all it is, you guys aren't attending at church or a Bible study. You're just putting it in the calendar. So make it that one easy step that you can do in regards to this specific goal. That's really just, yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So hold on. Before we go on,
Okay.
how many people have one? Raise your hand. Put your hand in front of your screen. All right. Keep holding. Keep holding. We have like a good number of people here. So a lot of you. But I'm not going to call anyone out, but there's some of you that aren't raising your hand. Maybe your arm's broken. That's fine. Maybe you had shoulder surgery.
Maybe they raise it and put it down.
Well, I asked. Okay.
Maybe they're
here's
like
the
me
deal.
and don't like to be told what to do.
Stop it. This is interactive. You said that we were going to be interactive. I need you guys to participate. Here's the thing, is you're not going to succeed unless you do. So I'm not saying you have to, but I'm encouraging you guys. You need to come up with something. We're going to move along because we want to hit each one of these areas and give an example. I'm not saying you have to do it right now, but I want you guys, before we talk again, you're going to have those. And we're going to make sure that you guys are on path to reaching that.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Okay, so we're moving on to family, okay? So, and I personally kind of put a lot of these in the order of my non-negotiables. These may not be the order of your non-negotiables, and that's okay. But my faith always comes first. My family always comes second. Third is my business. And sometimes friends come before business, honestly. So me and Tyler can have to fight about that. Like friendships and fun, honestly, like sometimes comes before business, or else business doesn't get done because I get bored, because I like to have a good time and I like my friends. So,
I think
but
just
be aware that these don't have to be in the order of your non-negotiables. We're gonna mix them kind of up in the end to really dial in where that looks like for you. Okay, family. All right. Who has kids out there? Raise your hand. Yes. Okay. So again,
you don't have kids though. Do you have
a mom,
siblings?
A dad, a sibling. Yeah, and I want you guys
know,
to think like aunts, uncles, like families all the way around. Like I was even writing some of these goals, and I was like, you know what? I want to make sure I call my mother every day. Like she hears my voice. Like, I want to start reconnecting with my aunts and uncles again. So I want you to think really big when it comes to family.
Yeah, and to me, this family can be, extended family. We say extended family. That can be close friends. That can be people that, you're very close with, you've had a long-term relationship with some way, somehow. That's family. Yeah. And those are people that, kind of evaluating that process. So a couple of the examples that we have as far as, family goal, like Kelly said, calling her mom. For us, we've talked about taking each one of our kids out for a special date each month. It could be making sure that you have a date night.
A date night between us. Those are both actually two of our
those are ours. It could mean, for example, me. My brother lives here in Spokane. All the rest of my siblings and family live across the country. It could be that, hey, we get together, at least one time this year and spend time all together as siblings, which we haven't done in, I don't know, it's been 5-6 years.
It could be book a family vacation. It could be where you're going to host like a family style dinner, and that could be inviting friends and not necessarily if you don't have people local in your community, but you're going to host a family dinner and not worry about having the correct dishes or the correct entertainment and stuff, but just really bringing that family back together again. So start writing down those 3. Again, you guys, like I get emotional behind the fact that like I work a lot, and I mean my mom and I work in the same building, and I text her every day, but I don't always like call her, and so that makes me sad that I've not failed as a daughter, but so that's emotional for me. So it's something that I'm gonna hold myself accountable to, because I want to be there for my mom. So make sure you guys are writing down things that really stir your soul.
One of the things to kind of go along with that, and I think as we talk about goals and kind of talked about this in faith, as I said, one that's going to impact you. And I think same here with family. I was talking to a business coach that I have, and we were talking about this last week. And one of the posts that I shared in Facebook was about, having the interaction with my brother. He's lived here in Spokane not quite a year, and we didn't have that interaction for 20 plus years. We never lived in the same spot. Now we live, literally his apartment is 100 yards away from us. And, I was talking to my coach, and he goes, yeah, I reconvened. I haven't talked to my brother in 40 years. And they just started talking again this summer. And so I know there's some of you on this call that's the same way. It could be a sibling, it could be an aunt, it could be an uncle, it could be a parent that maybe you have an estranged relationship with. And maybe it's the courage to step beyond that. And I think one of the things that he brought up with me is there was a lot of healing in that because they both grew. And they both were able to share their growth. And it really accomplished a lot more as opposed to, oh, I just caught up with my brother. It was a lot about, oh, I had to grow as a person and admit, yeah, this is where we were. So I think taking that opportunity and thinking about it, maybe that's your why. Maybe that's your why with your family is to say, hey, I want to hone in on maybe a tarnished relationship. But I'm going to take this another way too, is maybe there's toxic relationships and you need to realize that you need to surround yourself with people that help you become the best that you are. And, those things happen. And so I think as part of, we talk about the why, be vulnerable enough with yourself to say, if there's something that's holding me back, maybe I'm thinking about it, I don't want to go, see my family this week. I don't want to see them for whatever reason. Maybe part of your why, or maybe part of this goal is to where you don't have that tripping stone all the time, because that really affects us on all the rest of our goals. If you have a goal that's just so consuming you because it's either negative and it's holding you back, think about that and think about a way that you can get past that. And that may be your family goal this year, is like, I don't want that to hold me back. It is iron out those problems, right? Right, Angela? Because I know this from example. If I am dwelled down about negative, I don't focus on all the positive and do all the dynamic, great things I know I can do.
It's so true. I love that you guys are putting your goals over and just giving ideas. These are great ideas. I'm so excited this is being recorded so I can go in there and copy some of these because they're really, really awesome. I really love what Tyler just said, you guys. I mean, it's the quote by, well, I think it was by Pitbull, but I think somebody back in the day said it, and it was, show me your friends and I'll show you your future, or show me the 5 people that you're hanging out with. And some of us just kind of get, because family's comfortable, we stay there, but there could be some toxicity with the people that you're spending too much time with. So it may be something where you really need to set some boundaries with your family members. And that's going to, you guys, all of these goals encompassing, and once you start really diving into and bringing out the burning whys and the emotional side of this, there should be a time when you guys are looking at this and writing at this, and it should bring tears. It should be stirring in you. And I know that because we're all interactive and the camera's on, we might not all get there right now, but I really hope you're continuously bringing in that emotional factor behind it and really bringing that why about it. I mean, we've heard Simon Sinek speak on it for years now. But what is that one step now, you guys? What's that one easy, simple step that you can take? And it could be just to set a reminder in your phone to call your mom tomorrow. It could be to set up the month of date nights with your spouse. What is the one easy step that you can do, and write that down so that you guys are going to do that? So you're writing it down because you're going to do that either when we get off this call or tomorrow morning. But that's what's really going to hold you accountable to that.
Okay.
All right. Shall we move on?
Let's move on to the nuts and bolts.
It's about money.
Finances, business. Yeah. Is it all about the Benjamins?
No, I mean, finances is about the Benjamins. It kind of I've always wanted to do that on Zoom, so I just went.
Well, you just did it.
Let me meme. Let me meme.
Man, should we take a break? We've been in here 30 minutes now.
No.
Are you guys having fun?
Just getting started.
Are you guys having fun?
Yes.
Are you guys getting value out of this? Is this forcing you to do something maybe you haven't done yet?
Guys, this is the exact template I follow to write down my goals every single month.
Okay.
This is how I hit all of my business goals, and I hit them all. I don't hit them all. I fail a lot, and I'm okay with that. In order to be great, you have to fail. Yeah. All right, let's move into finances and business. You guys, this is a big subject. And so you're going to really kind of need to think. And there's lots of different ways we can go to this one. We could be where, right now you are, again, make sure it is something that's you're going to, for those 3 that you're going to put in, it needs to be something that's really going to stir your soul. Are you drowning in debt? Do you have some big financial goals that you need to pay off? So it might be a goal like, yes, we are going to pay off those credit cards. You know, we're going to join a financial class that really teaches us how to pay off those credit cards. You guys, if we want to just dive right into finances, I highly recommend joining a Crown Financial class. It saved me and Tyler's marriage way in the beginning. Dave Ramsey also does a great job, but Crown for us was the class that really, 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 really helped us. So if that's something that you guys are struggling, if it comes to debt, if it comes to not knowing how to budget, I was never a budgeter, you guys. I just, you know, oh, there's Crown fans. Cool, I love it. I just was always, you know, making and spending, and I just, you know, I wasn't accountable to anybody, and I just,
Yep.
And so we really needed to get on the same page. So very early on in our marriage, we took that class. And so we've spoken the same exact language our entire marriage. There's usually one that's great with finances, and then there's one that's a little more irresponsible.
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate you mentioning that, answering Sarah's question. So I'm going to take a step back here real quick. Linda had a comment, Linda Ovens, and I appreciate her being, you know, kind of on top of things and keeping us accountable. So I appreciate that, Linda. The boxes at the end of that. So we're on the finances and business. We have our top 3 lines. We have our why. We have our first easy step. And then we have 12 little boxes and their monthly milestones. Part of after we get done with this is we want you guys to, you know, from a time frame point of view, you know, kind of scale those things out. You know, we talked about the goals. They need to be smart. They need to be, you know, measurable. They need to be attainable. They need to be realistic. You got to have them specific. So that is the box to kind of, you know, again, keep you accountable over time that you're working towards that. One of the things that we often see is like, here it is, January 15th. We already know there are people that had January 1st goals and they've already given up and quit. Why? Because they haven't had accountability and or they didn't have a plan. So part
or they
of that,
had too many goals.
Well, that's too. It's too many. So part of that is giving you that opportunity to follow up with this, that worksheet, the workbook that you have, and kind of plug in there, you know, the goals over time per month. Because this is a year. We're doing it for the year, and so we want to focus on that. So getting back to finances and business, and I think one of the things I'm just going to kind of pop into here, regardless financially, whether it's you're thinking about your family business, you're talking about your professional business, you're talking about your saving business, whatever it may be, you have to have a common ground, especially if you're married, you're in a relationship, whatever it may be. If you're unmarried, someday I really encourage you to get into that position very, very early in a relationship. Have that deep, dark, ugly conversation. How do you all view money? Is it all bad? Is it, one of the things that I learned is I grew up in a home where the excuses if we couldn't buy something is I'm broke. And one of the lessons that we learned through the study we went through is your money blueprint. The book Secrets of a Millionaire Mind kind of goes through this too. Your money blueprint is set for you as you go. So for example, if you're in business, and I'll just use a business example. If you're in business and man, you're hitting $50,000, you're hitting $50,000 and that's all you're getting past. Well, there's a reason why. You have a blueprint set to that. One of the things, if you're in your personal finances, you're like, man, we just never save money. We're not having, you know, we make a little bit of money and it's spent, and make a little bit of money and spent. And part of that is your personal thermostat. You spend it to get back to where you're comfortable and you're even. And so we're really challenging you in a lot of these different areas to, you know, what are you going to do different this year? If it is a stretch goal, if it is meaning, you know what, I'm going to, for the first time, I'm going to save, I'm going to grow. One of the things that Kelly and I really experienced, and this is my viewpoint from a business point of view, is you can never cut enough. Okay, so what does that mean? And if you're making a budget for your family, you can never cut enough. There's always going to be things that pop up. So you can make a budget and you can say, oh, I need to, you know, reduce my costs. We're going to get rid of all credit card debt, which Kelly and I don't believe in. I'm going to, you know, do whatever. I'm going to limit going out to eat. I'm going to limit all these different things. No matter how much you cut, it will never be enough. And one of the things that I always learned in business is you can out-earn more than you can out-cut. So I'm going to really challenge you guys as a theory there. It doesn't mean that don't mind your expenses, but you can, if you earn more, find ways to earn more, whether that's a side hustle, whether that is a different business, whether that's growing in your business, whether that's buckling down and working harder. That will always be the explanation.
I don't think, Sarah, I love that question. I don't think we're going to go. Tyler could talk about like money and finances all day. And you guys, if that is something you're interested in, we will do a whole podcast on that because of time constraints. He's very passionate about it. He's brilliant in it. And so we will go into all of that at another time. But right now, I want you guys to just really work about your business or financial goals. So if you have a business goal, then that might be one of the three. Again, you guys, it needs to be something that is emotional. There's emotion behind it. So I saw somebody, how do you dare us to go big on these goals? Okay, you guys, I'm a really big dreamer. I love to dream big. But have you been dreaming big for the past, say, 10 years to where it's so big you haven't achieved it? There is a reason we have a section called freaky goals, which are actually my favorite kind of goals. And that's where we're going to really stretch our mind and take ourselves to a place and just putting stuff in front of us that maybe we wouldn't dream possible. So, you know, if a person who has never made 6 figures a year, not even 60K, wants to live a financially free life, 6 figures, is it smarter to go with smaller? I think your goals should always stretch you, but they should also, again, be measurable and be achievable. So in that, it needs to be what's right for you. Just remember, we have a section for freaky, and that's for those big, audacious, like, crazy goals where everybody laughs at you and they make you cry and make you want to throw up, but they're really awesome if you actually hit them. So again, different ideas for this is, like we said, creating a budget, money management class, little things like cutting back on coffee or cutting back on eating out all the time, or starting a new business. So what is one of those that really would be life-changing for you? Like, what would it mean?
Not 6 of them. Not like
3, and then we're going to find one.
But not, and I think, again, this is an area where people are like, all right, finances, I need to do all these different things.
Right. And then
nothing ever happens.
They all fail. Right.
Pick one.
Pick one. Create a budget and stick to it. So what does that look like? That may be setting up a date night. Davey, I don't know if you're married or if you're not, but if you are, or setting up just a wine night with yourself where you're printing out your budget and you're actually doing it. But all you have to do is set that date on the calendar for yourself, something that you can step into that is absolutely achievable. And that's the biggest thing. Like, we want it to be easy and seamlessly. If that first step is easy, that second step is easier, third, fourth, fifth. I know a lot of times they say, like, do the first thing that scares you. And then people sit there freaking frozen. They're just like, because they're scared. So why not make it easy? I hate that philosophy. It doesn't work for me.
Yep.
I
One
say,
of the things
do the first thing that's easy and then marinate yourself into it. So,
you know, it's the snowball effect, is the compound effect. It is all of those things. Pick something that's small that you can do easy that's going to have an effect. You know, that there's a kind of a study that was done with dominoes, that a domino can knock over a bigger domino 50% larger. And you can do that. And if you take, starting with a 3 or 2 inch or whatever, a normal size domino, if you do that for every domino, within 32 dominoes, Mount Everest is knocked over. So stop and think about that. You have this huge, crazy, I can't figure out how to do it. It's not that, it's just the compounding. So start something that you can tangibly do. You can do small. If it's just like, hey, this month, my monthly milestone is we're going to track all of our expenses. Just so that way we really know what we spend. If you can't measure it, you can't make a goal if you have no idea. So that's an example.
I just think it's kind of biblical, right? They say faith as small as a mustard seed can move a mountain. He doesn't say you jump off a cliff and you move a mountain, right? Like, just make it easy, make it simple.
Off a cliff.
Well, I just like, it doesn't have to be so crazy. Like, it's small. It's just middle. It's like
okay.
Easy. Okay.
So now we're moving to your favorite one.
I like to have a good time.
Oh, you do?
This is a very necessary. And for those of you that don't, that are just like tight. Well, first of all, clearly, for any of you, I know there are some people who are in our industry or saw on my Facebook, my husband and him riding the zebra. Clearly, he stepped into his fun this weekend. And for the record, he was completely sober.
I was. I was told that I don't like to have fun. I like to have fun.
Yes.
I don't know when it's going to happen. It just kind of spur the moment. And when Red Foo is singing and he's got a zebra, sure, that looks like something should be written.
Anyways,
why not?
Looks like something that should be written. If you do not see it, please go to my Facebook and
have a good laugh.
See the
There's an example of doing something fun.
All right.
No intentions. But.
I know. Laura has the zebra. Yes. Okay. Hilarious. Okay. So fun goals, you guys. Planning a vacation. What else? What's fun? I mean, I always have. What else? What's fun? What's fun to you?
One of the things that we did recently is we decided to, as a couple, create and join a indoor soccer league. Yes. And it was something that we never did before. Liz, who's on here, is actually on our team as well. Yeah, and some people have had fun with it. I've had what I call as fun. I can be a little intense, and so it is what it is. I like to compete and compete hard. That can be fun. I'm on a flag football team. That brings about injury. You just have to, engage that. That's part of what happens. And think of something. This is really an opportunity for kind of like hobbies.
Sports, it could be hobbies.
Yeah. And I think it's something that you really need to engage in it. And I think one of these things that comes back to is fun, to me, means it doesn't have to be absolute, but you're doing it with other people. To me, when you're having fun, you're engaged with other people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be. I understand you can do things fun on your own, but I think it's even more valuable when it's engaged with someone else. So think about that. Think about an idea of what can I do that maybe I've never done, or an opportunity that you can engage in something that everyone, maybe once a week drives your adrenaline to a level that
I personally think it should be something that gets your blood flowing. Tony Robbins talks about changing your state. And so I schedule fun, like personal dance parties. My graphic designer and my husband will sit here in the office, because it's all windows, if you guys ever been to our office, and watch me, and I crank up the music and I dance. And that is super fun to me. So I like to be with people, but I don't have to be with people. I can do it all alone. So what is fun to you? What gets your blood flowing, and what keeps you just excited for life? I love to travel. So I like to have just different areas and things that we can go and do. So write down 3 things. And then that one thing that is just, I love it. Put some ideas down here. Dinner dates with friends. Yes, I love that. And what's that one thing that you guys really can focus on and do? You guys, just having this one thing in your life will make all the other goals so much more simpler. And again, we talk about balance. There's no such thing as balance to life, but you do have to have different areas of fulfillment, I believe, to encompass and be able to just live a full life and really live a audacious life. So what's that one easy step? We're getting through these faster now, you guys. What's that one easy step that you can do in order, like sign up for the soccer team? So that was fun for me in the beginning. And I'm not a very good soccer player. And no, I'm not at all a good soccer player. But I was just there for the fun. Well, I found out we're in like a very advanced league. Like Liz is nodding. She understands because she's fabulous. And so they won last night. It was because I didn't go to the game.
Stop.
So
anyways,
but volleyball, softball,
Okay, so the next topic, we spend all that time talking about us and our soccer team, and Tammy mentions pickleball. Well, that could also be your fitness goal. Yeah. One of the things we write fitness here because it's an F and it fits and it's fitness health. And, sometimes for people that means, I got to go join a gym. They think first year, I got to go join. No, that could be, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to, do something like, join a sports team. I'm going to
start eating a Whole30 or.
Yeah. I'm going to start a new nutrition plan. Whatever in that area, again, follow the same system. Make sure it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, but that's going to have an effect in your life. If you're looking at yourself, and we own a gym, and one of the things that we try to talk to people about in that gym is to be working towards something. If you have a goal, we'll just say it here. If you have something you're working towards, man, that struggle is all the more meaningful. I would say that anyone here will know, and I don't care what level of athlete you are or aren't, the idea that I'm going to get fitter is not fun at first. It gets to be fun, and the more that you can enjoy it, create it engaging and enjoying, means you're going to do it. But that first step is hard. So what can you do? Is it a matter of, look for a new gym, look for something exciting, whether it's I'm going to start doing something nutritionally to just benefit my health. maybe part of that is like, I want to, this is one of my goals, and it's a long-term goal, is why I do every day what I do from a fitness point of view and from a nutrition point of view is we have 3 kids that are 11, 9, and 8. And by the time they're in their 20s, I want to be able to go anywhere, do anything. If they want to play soccer, if they want to go ski, if they want to go do whatever they want to do, I'm there with them. And I'm fit enough, I'm healthy enough, and I'm in good enough condition. That's been a long-term goal for years for me. That was driven out of the fact that my dad hasn't been able to do that. My dad was a college football player, phenomenal college football player, and yet he was always too tired, too out of shape, and worked too hard to ever really play with me. And so I never had that opportunity. And so that's something that's very near and dear and important to me with our kids, is I want to have that. That's my fitness health goal, and it's been long term. And that's going to continue to be my goal, and that's my continued driver.
Yeah. So what are some ideas? Maybe to lose 10 pounds, maybe to gain 5 pounds of muscle, start a new workout class. You guys, the thing is with any of these health and fitness goals, you guys, this and finances are the #1 like New Year's resolutions that are out there. And that's why we held this workshop, a couple weeks into the new year, because I'm sure a lot of you guys started resolutions and maybe have failed. Maybe you're still going strong with those. That's so great. But really making achievable goals. And this is where you guys are going to find this monthly milestones really valuable. Because if you have something like a 50-pound weight gain or weight loss in 2018, realistically, does that look like 5 to 8 pounds a month? What does that look like? And so you'll be able to use those boxes below to really dial that in. But why? What is that one goal, you guys? What is that one goal that really would change what 2019 is going to look like for you when it comes to health? I probably in the last year I used to be a huge fitness junkie. I taught classes for many, many years, spin classes, boot camp classes. I was always working out, and I kind of came to a point of burnout, and I came to a point of just not enjoying the fitness world, and it wasn't fun for me anymore. So I had to find something that was fun for me. I had to find ways to stay active that I just got fulfillment out of. And I can tell you guys, setting those goals that you're going to actually, if it's something that scares you, then I say press into that. If it's something that just absolutely does not entice you, don't set that goal. Don't set yourself up for that disaster. Make sure it's something that you really actually might want to do. So again, that why. Something, and then what is that first easy step for you? How can you step and just do something? Maybe it's just hitting up a yoga class tomorrow. Maybe it's cleaning all the junk food out of your cabinets tonight. Maybe it's Googling what a Whole30 or an Isagenix, I'll throw that out there, lifestyle looks like for you. No shameless plug there. Just what does those first easy steps look like? That first easy step for that one big goal look like for you when it comes to fitness or health?
Okay.
All right, you guys, we got 12 minutes.
But we're here.
So
we're here to Freaky.
We've made it to Freaky.
Ooh, okay.
All right, you guys. So many of you guys understand when I say I like goals, I really like goals. So this is my absolute favorite one out of all of these. And this is the one where I want you guys to dig deep in your soul and dream really, 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 really big. I want you guys to just shatter glass ceilings, take off any helmet that may be holding your mind captive, and really write down 3 goals that would literally make the person in the other room, or if you went and called your bestie right now, kind of mock you and laugh at you a little bit, or where you might cry, or you might be almost embarrassed to share it. And I'm going to share my freaky goals because I have the coolest story behind 2 of my freaky goals. So they're kind of silly. So my 3 freaky goals, one of them was and this is for 2018, so you guys can really laugh. I wanted to be on the cover of Forbes magazine. Go ahead, laugh at me. Okay, I know. You guys okay. Okay, thank you. The clap. That's really nice. I will give A21. It's a street trafficking mission that we have partnered with. Modern Mom on a Mission partnered with, and now Tyler and Kelly has partnered with. We will give them $1 million this year. That was my goal last year, and I didn't hit it. So we will give them $1 million this year. It will happen. And then I can't even remember what my third one was.
Be a shark.
Oh, I want to be a shark on Shark Tank. I want to be a shark, like not on Shark Tank. I want to be a shark. I want to be a guest, just a guest, just once. Okay, so they're silly, right? But you know what? I don't care because they get me excited. So here's what happens. The next day, after I write down these goals, I get a phone call from a person, a random girl who wants me to invest in her business. So I got all like sharky on her. And I was like, I got off the phone and I was just kind of like floored. I was like, oh my gosh, like I just got to be a shark. And I wasn't on Shark Tank, but it was just kind of like a little love note from God. Like, you keep throwing those goals out to me. You keep on dreaming big. You keep on doing that because I will like show up for you. And so it was just kind of fun and cool. And then right after that, I get a call from A21. And they said, we just want to thank you for being one of our biggest donors last year. And we just want to tell you that it's not in the news yet. Now it's public, but we just want to tell you that we just rescued 10 children, and the youngest was 3 years old, and she was so highly sexually abused, and you know she's safe, and you guys, another love note for those freaky goals. And I just gotta tell you, like, don't settle for not dreaming big. Like, I'm not here to like master motivate you tonight. This is just like a goal setting workshop, but I can tell you when there is a true burning deep desire why behind what you do, and that is what gets me up every single day. Tyler and I are so blessed. We don't need to make any more money in this world, you guys, but what can you do when you do have more money? You can do incredible things. And so I don't say that to brag. I say that so you guys stop playing so small, because the world is not served by any of you guys playing small. And if you guys can achieve these goals and you can step into these freaky goals, like, gosh, you guys, that's what me and Tyler want to do. We want to raise world leaders and changers. And that is why we are so passionate about just teaching you these small little fundamentals and so much more, so that more people are actually doing and achieving these awesome things. So, okay, you guys, it's time to write your freaky goals down. And then you get to pick one. And they're silly, you guys. Like, I still haven't gotten a call from Forbes magazine. I'm not sure why, but
Yeah. So anyways, I think those are great. And I think one of the things that Kelly, and if you couldn't see it, I could certainly see it, is the emotion that was tied in. And I'm going to go back through and just kind of hit on that for each one of these goals. The ones that are going to be effective for each one of those areas, the 6 that we've laid out here, are going to have that heartstring, because every day that either you're working towards that or you're not, it's going to hit you. And you're going to stand up and say, oh, every day, for example, if I, and this is probably one for me because it's near and dear. If I'm not able to do something, then my kids want to go play or they want to go do something, that pulls at me. When Kelly wants to accomplish something, and I know from a standpoint of we're not being diligent with our time, that's what's not holding us back. My goal for this year, and it's why it's so paramount that I think we really honed this in, is really, for me, it's focus. And, one of the things that we've had the opportunity to do is we started several different businesses over time. We've operated several different businesses, but that's also caused a problem for me, is thinking I can do more than what I can do. And I can do this and I can do that and I can do this and I can do that. And we have 6 different businesses that we run daily that, some way, somehow I have to affect. And one of the things that I really was led to understand is I got to let those things go. And I have to kind of step back in a lot of ways, and I need to focus on the ones that can have the most effect. That's why we're doing this. That's why Kelly and I are doing this group, is that we realize that for us to reach our goals, we need to help other people reach their goals. At the same point, for us to reach our goals, we need to be held accountable. And one of the things that we've understood in business is if we make a commitment, if you guys have ever heard of Strength Finders, Clifton Strength Finders, it's a great tool. We can get into that later another time. But one of the things that Kelly and I have is responsibility. And yet one of the things that we don't have is if we make a goal to ourselves, we say, hey, we're going to do it. Yeah, I don't care. But if I commit to Kelly, I'm going to do this at that time, and it's going to be for this reason, I'm going to do it. And when we were discussing that and we were talking about that and we understood that we were that way with ourselves, we understand, there's a lot of people out there. If you're sitting here and you're saying, okay, I have these goals, how are you going to get there? Are you going to have someone that cares as much about you reaching your goals as you do? Because I know Kelly's goal of giving $1 million to A21 is near and dear to my heart. And I'm looking and I'm saying, I need to be the best me I can be. So through our business, we can do that. And, that's what affects, and it's kind of everything spills down from that, and just making sure I'm accomplishing what I can. And so we wanted to give that opportunity to you guys. We wanted to make sure that we did that for others and selfishly, so that way we can reach our goals, because if we're holding you accountable, you guys are holding us accountable. And I know we can go through another year where we could, not do that, and yet we're holding accountable. So.
All right, so moving on. We're on our last page here.
Yep, last page.
You're going to see 6 main goals, okay? So all of those number 1 goals in each category that you guys wrote down with that why, the one for faith, one for family, finances, fitness, health, you guys are going to write each of those on here. So you've kind of reached your one focus goal in each of those categories, right? And then what we want you to do is we want you to put those goals in order of importance to you. Now, this can be a little hard because number 1 might be like to read my Bible every day, but finances and budget might be that I need to get my family out of debt. And it's hard to prioritize because you don't want to think like I have to get my family out of debt, like prioritizes over God. And so we're going to let you know that like God's going to be, he's going to be cool with this, right? We really have to, because we need to come down to one focus goal. And so I understand that this isn't the easiest part to do, but it's really important because on your last page, you're going to be writing your focus goal in that circle. And so what is the one thing that you can focus on? You guys, all of this other stuff that we have written down, especially if you wrote it down, it is now programmed in your mind. It is stuff that you're going to be thinking about. And you'll be able to write little Post-its around your house. And you have already started changing the programming in your subconsciousness because you wrote it down. But we got to put that one focus goal down. That one thing that's going to change. That could be, I may know my business will grow better if I just make sure that me and Tyler's marriage is legit. So that could be my family goal, that me and him are doing a date night. Mm-hmm. And that is a non-negotiable, and that's the focus goal. Mm-hmm. And it could just be for the first 12 weeks until we kind of have developed that habit and gotten our marriage strong again. So I just want you guys to really think about all the things, what that one goal will encompass and change. And that's the focus goal that you're going to be putting in there.
So, in that, I want you guys to understand that, we've gone through these 6 areas. It's the cornerstones, right? And yet there's one of them that's probably going to be the domino that trips everything else. If you have a better mindset because spiritually you're in a better place, it's going to help you along all the other ways. If you are more driven in and focused on, your health, if you're more focused on, where you're trying to go with your finances, your business, it's going to allow all those other things to continue to be paramount. You're still going to work towards those, but if you have one thing that you wake up in the morning and you're like, this is what I am going to do this year, everything else is going to go for it. So.
Yeah. You guys feel a little bit more clear on your goals? Are you feeling empowered, to hit these goals? Okay, so let me just tell you one of my little secrets. So I use my phone as a screensaver, and I make a picture of what it is. This is actually another goal that I have. Our church is under remodeling, and so I keep that on there just to remember to pray for the remodel and make more money. Anyways, 2018, you guys, I'm just gonna be honest. I gotta make a lot of money this year because I have a lot of organizations and things that I got a lot to do. So I'm not gonna apologize for that. But you guys, somebody was saying it's so hard to dream, it's so hard to be freaky. You guys, for you, it could be that freaky is $1,000. It could be that freaky is, freaky could be joining a soccer team. Freaky, it's your freaky. It's not my freaky. And my freakery has grown as I've personally developed into different areas. Yeah, so everybody has a different kind of freak. We could like make a hashtag or a t-shirt out of that. Anyways, all right, you guys, now we just want to talk to you really quick. I want to hear if this is like helped you guys, if this is something you've never done. We would love your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. I am so excited that you're just a little bit more clear on your goals. Find your freaky, all right? And that they are just really, you know, working well for you, and that it's all been super clear. Yeah. And, you know, we are at the top of an hour. We said we'd take an hour. So we want to just make you guys aware of one more thing that we are offering throughout the year.
Yeah. So one of the things that we realized, and I mentioned this, is, you know, we've hopefully written this all down. We've given you a framework to write all down. And unfortunately, we recognize for ourselves, that's only as good as the paper that's written on. And unless you are held accountable, unless you have people committed to walk you through it, I'm sorry, you know, you may be the one exception of thousands where you can do that for yourself. I'm not. I need someone to say, Tyler, where are you at? Where are you going to put up or show up? So one of the things that we shared with you is we gave you a red, yellow, and green. And this is where that comes into effect. One of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to engage in this group, and we wanted to do it for the entire year. So we're going to extend you guys an opportunity to work with us for this year. And we want to do that because we want to connect with you guys. And like I said earlier, we want to make sure you reach your goals.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that we're partners in that with you, and making sure that you guys like look back on this year and it's like, holy cow, that was amazing. That was fun. And I never realized I could reach that goal.
Yes.
So we're going to offer something to you guys. And we're going to do so because of, you know, what we want to do. And we want to create this community where we can look around and we can find our freaky. So real quick, we're going to share with you guys. And I want you to guys understand, unless you have skin in the game, unless you have someone holding you accountable, we don't believe you're going to be as successful as if you try to go it alone. So this is what we're going to share with you guys. We have an opportunity here that we're going to put together this year, and it is for accountability groups. And we have two different options. One is just what we call Gold Star membership. You're going to get exclusive monthly. We're going to do 12 months. And we're going to go through each one of these areas. We're going to bring on guests. We're going to have a Facebook group. We're going to have weekly accountability checks. We had that red, yellow, green. Did you hit your focus goal this week? That's a green. Nope, I didn't. I was halfway there. I was a yellow. And I didn't even get there. I was a red. And that we're going to hold you accountable across the entire group, because we know with that.
I think we need to explain that this is only people who want tough love. This is not a cookie cutter anything. This is people who are open. They really, really, really want to change, and they are giving us permission to play it real with them and to be real with them. So this is not for the lighthearted. This is not a mushy, you know, like fun group. This is because we want to see you guys hit your goals. And that's why we have a ticket price on it, because if you're not accountable, you don't have skin in the game, we don't believe that you're actually going to hit it. And so 2 to pick from, you can see the Platinum membership. It's more intimate one-on-one time with us. So you'll spend 1 hour with each of us a month, or with one of us, me or Tyler, a month. And we have a cap on each of these groups. So there's not going to be like massive 500 people groups. We really we're going to keep it intimate. We're going to keep it personal, and where we really can see you guys hit your goals. This is just an optional. You guys don't have to do it, but it's something that we did want to put out there for anybody who's interested, that really, really seriously want to hit their goals and just need some more help to have, you know, that accountability. So we will be sending this out to your emails.
You guys will get it right at the end of the session. Again, exclusive mentoring from us, private Facebook group, anyone that's in it. We're going to have weekly Zooms and accountabilities. We're going to keep working on this. We're going to go through all those areas. We're going to give you tips. We're going to walk you through it. We're going to learn about, you know, each one of the areas that is important to us. But then as well, next year, at the end of the year, we're going to have an event. And I'm excited. This is actually one of my goals, is I want to have an event to bring people together. We've had amazing training from amazing people. You know, John Maxwell. We've had a Brent O'Bannon, the guys, you know, Strength Finders, numerous other people that have just poured into our lives. And we want to bring more and more of that stuff to you guys, because it's been so impactful to us. So This is monthly. This is monthly, and the reason it's monthly is we want you to stay engaged monthly. And that's why we have 2 options. That's why we have options for you guys. We want you guys to understand where this is going, how it's going. I think what's fun for us is we know where this money is going. We know it's going to an amazing cause. And it's Kelly said, we're not doing this to say, hey, how can we make a bunch of money off you guys? It is, we have a goal. We have a goal to support people, and we know that you're not going to reach your goals unless you put skin in the game.
Yeah.
And so
and the reason we're not charging one big chunk on the front end, which is a lot easier for most of you guys to do, is because we want you to feel what it feels to make that payment every month and to see that happen so that you're holding yourself accountable. So it's all designed with mind and intention behind it. So can you change over at some points? That's a great question. I'll have to ask our organizer who put this all together. But if you guys are interested in this, like I said, we're not opening it up to, a ton of people. So you want to be able to get in, we will close out. We're going to close out the Gold Star membership, I believe, at, was it 100?
100.
100?
Yep.
100.
And the platinum is 40.
At 40. So
Yes.
only that many people. And so I think I'm not sure how many people we have on the call tomorrow, but anyways, that's all. Thanks, you guys. And I know it's past 7 o'clock.
Yes, so we're going to let you go.
On being here forever.
If you have you're going to get a link as soon as this is over in order to join in here. If you have any questions, send those over as well if we didn't answer them. We thank you guys so much for joining us. We thank you guys. This has been fun. And I hope you guys have gotten, above and beyond anything else, a lot of value. You have your goals written out. You have focus. You know what you're going to accomplish. And we just want to be your partners in that as well. Yeah. So thank you guys, and have a great night.
We appreciate you. Have a great night.